Hey there, welcome back to the channel. If you've been following along, you know that we just recently picked up a 2014 Jeep Wrangler. Excited to be back in a Wrangler. It's already sitting on 315s. I believe it's got a 3-inch lift, so it's ready to hit the trails, which you've already done. But there's a lot of work to get it back to overlanding. We want to install our winch. We want to install our air compressor under the hood. We got to install a drop table on the tailgate, kitchen lights like we had in the other Jeep. Then there's little things like I plugged in the trailer and the lights didn't come on. I know the trailer lights work completely when plugged into Liberty. So I've got to troubleshoot the plug. I'm not sure what gears are in this, so I'm going to jack it up, rotate the drive shaft and tire and count the revolutions, figure out what gears are in it. So there's some different things we want to do, and a little bit of it is troubleshoot and repair with the trailer lights, a little bit of it is installation, so we'll see what we can get to today. Alright, so I didn't know how to check what gears are in a vehicle if they've been changed. If they're stock, I think you can check up a stamp on the rear end or something. I was looking online. But if they're changed to an aftermarket, 410s, 456s, whatever, they're not going to be stamped. So I looked online and they said if you rotate the drive shaft and count the rotations for one full revolution of the tire, that'll tell you your gear ratio. So I got it jacked up. I'm going to crawl under there and see what I can figure out. Okay, so after watching a few videos that say to jack the vehicle up, mark the tire, mark the drive shaft, turn the drive shaft by hand, count the rotations it takes to complete one full rotation of your tire. So with my wife Lisa helping me out, we did that. Kept coming up with about 2 3/4 rotations, and looking online there's 272 gears, but not in Jeeps. So that wasn't making any sense to me. So after watching a half a dozen more videos that almost all of them were exactly the same explanation, finally found one that said if it's an open differential, leave one tire on the ground. So we did that. We dropped one tire off the jack stand, put it on the ground so only one side would turn. That time 3 3/4 rotations, so it's got the factory 373 gears. So if you're trying to test that, leave one wheel on the ground if you got open differentials, both wheels in the air if you've got a posi. The reason I wanted to know this is because my speedometer is about 5 miles an hour off, and I'm trying to figure out the gear ratio and the tire set so I can order the new Speedo gear to correct my speedometer for these tires and these gears. So factory gears, 373s, 315 tires. I'll figure out the tooth count on that gear and get that ordered. While we had it up in the air, we've been hearing some squeaking from the rear end, think the brakes, so I pulled the wheel off and looked in the back of the caliper at the pads, and the thickness looks fine. They're worn, but they still got some miles on them. When I looked a little closer, I could see through the back of the caliper opening that one of the pads is broken. So Lisa was going to go to the grocery store anyway. She's going to pick up some brake pads. I'm going to get the calipers and the old pads out, get it all ready, so when she gets home with parts, I can just get it reassembled. If I get this all apart before she gets back, then we'll start looking into those trailer wires. Well, with both sides having a broken brake pad, I'm surprised it wasn't making more noise, but only a little bit of squeak when we were on the brakes, so didn't give too much indication that there was much going on. Just a little squeak. Decided to check it out. Sure enough, the inner pad on both sides, it was the inner side that both pads were broke. So got the new ones. Lisa just got back with the new pads, so I'm going to throw them in, get the brakes and wheels all back put together and on, and go from there. Alright, got both sides, the brakes all put back together. I went back together pretty well, so I'm going to get the tires back on, get it off the jack stands. Then while I was waiting, I was checking on the trailer lights, and it turns out the fuse was blown. So that's the easy fix. Threw a new fuse in there. Couldn't get the trailer to the back of the Jeep from the way everything is in the shop right now. So I'm going to get these tires on, get it off the jack stands, pull it forward, roll the trailer over and plug it in and see what we got. Okay, so we got a couple of things accomplished today. Verified that it's 373 gears, so now I'll know which speedo gear to make the speedometer correct for these tires. Replace the rear brakes, so we're good there. Was troubleshooting the trailer lights at the plug, and it looks like an aftermarket harness that plugs in on from the taillight and runs down, and excuse me, all the lights work on the Jeep, so I think it's a bad harness just down to from the taillight down to the trailer light plug. So I'm going to order a new one from that, a new harness for the trailer, and see if that resolves all the problem. So I'll get on Amazon probably and order that harness, order the speedo gear, and other than that, I think we're going to call it a night, go get some dinner. Thanks for watching.